Hey y'all, what's up? Good morning. I'm an addict named Austin. I got clean here at Serenity House in Abilene, Texas. I hope y'all have a happy Thanksgiving and a good weekend. But I got on here to read the gist for today with you. November 27th, seeking God's help. At times during our recovery, the decision to ask for God's help is our greatest source of strength and courage. When we take the third step, we decide to allow a loving higher power to guide us and care for us in our daily lives. We make the decision to allow this guidance and care into our lives. Some of us believe that once we've made the third step decision, God leads us. From that point on, it's just a matter of paying attention to where we are led. The third step decision is an act of faith, and asking for God's help is a way of renewing that act of faith. Putting faith to work in our daily lives gives us all the courage and strength we need because we know that we have the help of a loving higher power. We trust that our needs will be met. We can tap into that faith and trust just by asking. Just for today, I will remind myself that I'm not alone by asking my higher power for help each step of the way. I can remember, step one, I knew that I was powerless and then I needed help, right? In step two, I wanted to keep it really simple. So the program was the power greater than myself that was going to restore the addicts, and the program was the power greater than me that was going to restore me to sanity. I need to keep it real simple, right? All the while during that process, my relationship with my higher power was growing, right? And it was getting back in line. I wasn't praying for these ridiculous things, right? Now I was plea bargaining a little bit still, hoping that this would be the job. Or I worked the third step. I asked God to take my will in my life and lead me, and I started doing the work. But like a good addict, every time there would be something that I wanted, I would start praying for it or plea bargaining with God for it, right? I'm like that little kid that's because when I get here, I'm emotionally a child, spiritually, and so I'm like a little kid that when you're holding their hand and they see all these things they're trying to run off to. That was me. And so I'm grateful for the relationship that I built with my higher power so that I didn't have as many rabbit holes, right? Ultimately, I get here and I get hope that this could work for me, right? And after a while, after working the third step and seeing what God will do in my life if I get up and do the work every day, because I can send up prayers all day long. I can lay in bed and pray for hours, and usually those prayers don't start being answered or even reflected upon until I get up and start doing the work, right? And so there's something that I've got to do. It's an action step. I have to make a decision and put in some action. And for me, once I started putting in that action, my hope turned into faith, right? And that's a good thing. Some days my faith has turned into trust. Some days I wake up and the disease of addiction still kicks my butt, right? And I'll start doubting and all these things. The disease of addiction will have me obsessing and compulsing without ever putting anything in my system or using anything to change the way I feel, right? And so I'm grateful that in this process, my hope has turned to faith and my faith has turned to trust. I can tell you without a doubt in the last 10 years that more than my needs have been met. And I've been blessed beyond what I could handle sometimes, but some days I can. Some days I let God. And so some days my life is really good and I'm blessed by the relationships that I have. And it usually starts with me tapping into that faith and by asking God for God's help, right? Because I'll mess it up all on my own. And so I usually start my day with asking for God's help. And then I show up and do the work. And usually if I don't mess it up, He blesses me. And so I have a lot of things to be thankful for as I kind of transition into Thanksgiving. I have so many things to be thankful for today. He's answered all my prayers and some, and He's put people in my life that could love me through being me, right? And so I've been able to mature emotionally a little bit and be a new version of me sometimes, right? And so anyways, I hope that helps. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I hope y'all have a good Thanksgiving. If you don't know what you're going to do on Thanksgiving, please reach out. We got some stuff going on here in Abilene, Texas. Have a good day.